Welcome to Cozy Sleep Media. Tonight, we will travel somewhere quiet, somewhere far from busy roads, somewhere touched by gentle rain. Imagine a small railway station. It stands alone beneath the night sky. Rain falls softly across the old roof. Warm light glows through dusty windows. There are no crowds tonight. No hurried footsteps cross the platform. No voices disturb the peaceful darkness. Only rain fills the quiet air. So make yourself comfortable now. There is nowhere you need to be. Nothing to finish, nothing to solve, nothing waiting for your attention. The busy hours of the day are behind you now, and the quiet hours of night are beginning. Allow yourself to settle comfortably. Notice the gentle support beneath your body. There is nothing you need to adjust. Nothing you need to hold, nothing you need to control. Simply allow yourself to rest. Take a slow breath in, through your nose. Hold it softly, just for a moment, and slowly breathe out. Again, a calm breath in, and a peaceful breath out. Let your shoulders become softer. Let your hands rest comfortably. Allow your jaw to loosen gently. There is no need to think about tomorrow. There is no need to revisit today. Whatever happened today can remain where it happened. For now, you can simply rest. The world outside is becoming quieter. The streets are slowly emptying. Distant lights are fading away. And somewhere beyond the quiet, a peaceful night is beginning. Tonight, you have arrived at an old railway station. The journey here was long. The roads were dark. Rain followed you for miles. Now, the journey has finally stopped. You step out beneath the station roof. For a moment, you simply stand there. You listen. Rain falls around you. Drops strike the metal gutters. Water runs along the edge of the platform. Somewhere nearby, a loose sign moves gently in the wind. You breathe in. The air smells of wet earth and old timber. There is something comforting about it. You look down at the empty platform. A single lamp glows beside the tracks. Its light stretches across the wet stones. Beyond it, everything disappears. bends slightly. Then it returns to its gentle shape. You pull the blanket from the back of the chair. It feels warm from the nearby fire. You place it across your legs. The simple comfort makes you smile. Outside, water runs along the platform. Inside, warmth surrounds you. You close your eyes again. This time, you keep them closed longer. The rain grows softer. The fire becomes quieter. The clock keeps ticking, and the old station seems to settle around you. After some time, you open your eyes. The room has become darker. One of the lamps has been turned lower. The fireplace now provides most of the light. You stand and walk toward the window. The glass feels cool beside your hand. You look outside. The platform is completely empty. Rain falls beneath the station roof. Tiny drops shine whenever they cross the lamplight. You watch them for a while. There is something almost hypnotic about it. A drop reaches the edge of the roof. It gathers there, becomes heavier, then falls. Another follows, then another. You find yourself waiting for each one. Beyond the platform, the railway tracks disappear into mist. You can barely see where they lead. Perhaps they continue for miles. Perhaps they pass through forests. Perhaps they reach small towns sleeping beneath the rain. You wonder about the people who once traveled along them. You imagine old suitcases, warm coats, quiet conversations, hands waving from train windows. Then the thoughts fade. You are here now, not there, here, inside this old station, with rain outside and warmth behind you. You turn from the window. The room looks different from this angle. The fire glows against the wooden walls. The old benches rest quietly beneath the windows. Your suitcase waits beside the chair. Everything seems simple. Everything seems enough. You return to your seat. As you sit down, a distant sound reaches you, very faint, almost hidden beneath the rain. A low vibration. You listen carefully. It disappears, then returns for just a moment. Perhaps a train is moving somewhere far away. You cannot see it. You only hear the distant hum. It slowly fades into the night. You smile softly. Somewhere beyond the darkness, the railway is still alive. But here, everything remains peaceful. You pull the blanket closer. The warmth feels deeper now. Your eyes become heavy again. The station clock continues. Tick, tick, tick. You let the sound carry you. The rain continues into the night. You remain beside the fire. You no longer think about leaving. The station has become a small world of its own. Warm, quiet, protected from the weather. You notice how peaceful your body feels. Your shoulders have dropped. Your hands are completely still. Your breathing has found its own rhythm. Slow, easy, natural. You listen to the rain. It touches the roof above you. It moves across the windows. It runs softly along the platform. Every sound blends together. The fire makes a quiet crackle. The clock answers with another tick. Nothing interrupts the peaceful rhythm. You look once more toward the door. Beyond it, the night is deep. The road outside is empty. The trees are dark silhouettes. No headlights pass. No footsteps approach. Only rain remains. You realize that you are not waiting anymore. You are simply staying. There is a difference. Waiting asks you to think about later. Staying allows you to enjoy now. Tonight, you can stay. You can rest. You can listen. You can let the hours pass without concern. The old station seems to understand that. It does not ask anything from you. It simply offers shelter, warmth, and quiet. You settle deeper into the chair. The blanket rests comfortably over you. The fire glows in front of you. Rain moves gently beyond the glass. Your eyelids begin to feel heavier. You do not need to fight the feeling. You let it come naturally. The clock continues in the background. The sound becomes softer. The room becomes softer. Even your thoughts begin to slow. Outside, the railway tracks disappear beneath the darkness. Inside, you remain warm beside the fire. And as the first quiet hour of night passes, you begin to feel that this old station may have a story waiting for you. But there is no need to discover it tonight. Not yet. For now, you can simply rest and listen to the rain. The rain continues outside. You remain beside the fire. For a while, you simply listen. Then your eyes move toward the hallway. You had noticed it earlier. A narrow passage beside the waiting room. It disappears into the older part of the station. A small lamp hangs above it. The light is faint, almost golden. You wonder where the hallway leads. There is no reason to hurry. Still, you feel like taking a quiet look. You leave the warmth of the fireplace. Your footsteps cross the wooden floor. The station feels different here. The air is slightly cooler. You pass an old ticket window. Its glass is dark. A brass bell rests beside it. Dust covers the wooden counter. You continue walking. The hallway is longer than expected. Several framed pictures hang along the wall. Most show the railway in earlier years. Old trains, old platforms, snow-covered tracks. Summer fields. People waiting beneath umbrellas. You stop beside one photograph. The station looks almost unchanged. Even the same roof appears in the distance. You move closer. Tiny details become visible. A flower pot near the entrance. A bench beneath the window. The old station sign. It feels strangely familiar. You cannot explain why. You continue down the hallway. The rain sounds quieter here. Thicker walls surround you. Your footsteps make soft echoes. At the end, you find another door. It is made from dark wood. A small brass handle catches the light. There is no sign, no label, nothing to explain where it leads. You place your hand against the door. The wood feels cool. For a moment, you simply stand there. You listen. Nothing. Then you notice something. A faint warmth comes through the door. Very slight. Almost impossible to feel. You lean closer. There is a soft sound beyond it. Not a voice. Not movement. Just the gentle hum of something old. Perhaps a heating pipe. Perhaps the building itself. You smile. There is no need to investigate tonight. You let your hand fall. Then you turn back toward the waiting room. The warm light waits at the end of the hallway. You walk toward it slowly. And somehow, the station feels a little less empty now. When you return, the fire has grown brighter. The room feels warmer. A cup now rests on the small table. You are certain it was not there before. Steam rises from its surface. You look around. No one is nearby. Perhaps someone placed it there earlier. Perhaps you simply missed it. You pick up the cup. It feels warm between your hands. The scent is gentle. Black tea. A little cinnamon. Something faintly sweet. You sit again. The first sip is soothing. Warmth moves slowly through your chest. You close your eyes. For a moment, you remember other quiet evenings. A room beside a window. Rain against the glass. A blanket over your legs. Someone you once knew making tea. The memory does not hurt. It simply passes through you. Softly, like a distant song. You open your eyes. The station remains unchanged. The fire continues burning. The rain continues falling. But something inside you feels different. You realize how tired you have been. Not only tonight, for much longer. Days filled with small responsibilities. Messages. Plans. Deadlines. Things that always seemed important. You carried them everywhere, even when you were supposed to rest. Tonight, you have left them outside. They cannot enter this room. The station has no place for them. You take another sip. The tea is nearly perfect. Not too hot, not too sweet, just warm enough. You look toward the window. Rain moves slowly down the glass. The lights outside shimmer. You watch without thinking. Your thoughts become quieter. One by one, they drift away. You do not try to stop them. You simply let them go. The cup becomes lighter in your hands. Your breathing becomes deeper. The chair feels softer. The room feels warmer. And the night feels longer. In the best possible way. After finishing the tea, you notice something on the wall. A large wooden frame hangs beside the fireplace. Inside is an old railway map. The paper has faded with age. Thin black lines cross the countryside. Several small towns are marked along the routes. You stand before it. Your eyes follow one line. It begins at the station, then move north, across fields, through wooded areas, past small villages, and toward a place called Belmere. The name catches your attention. You do not know why. Perhaps you have heard it before. You continue following the line. Another branch leads west. Another turns south. The railway once connected many places. Tonight, most of those lines are no longer used. You notice several markings in red ink. Small circles. Tiny handwritten notes. One of them sits beside Willowbrook. You lean closer. The handwriting is difficult to read, but one word stands out. Midnight. You study it for a moment. There is no explanation, just that single word. You wonder what it means. Maybe an old train schedule. Maybe a reminder. Maybe something important to someone long ago. You step back. The map looks ordinary again. Just an old piece of railway history. Still, the word stays in your mind. Midnight. You glance toward the clock. It is not midnight yet. There is still time. You smile at the thought. There is nothing unusual about an old timetable. Nothing mysterious. And yet, the station seems full of forgotten things. Things that once mattered. Things that remained behind. You touch the edge of the frame. Dust gathers beneath your fingertips. Then you return to your chair. The map remains on the wall, quietly watching over the room. Outside, the rain grows slightly heavier. The sound fills the station again, and the old railway lines disappear into darkness. You decide to step outside again. Not far, just beneath the covered section. You take your coat from the hook, then open the door. Cool air touches your face. Rain smells stronger here. Fresh earth, wet stone, damp wood. You walk beneath the roof. The platform is slick with water. Your footsteps are quiet. You look toward the tracks. The rails shine beneath the lamps. Small streams of rainwater cross the stones. You stop beside the old bench. Its wooden surface is dark from years of weather. You place one hand against it. The wood feels smooth, worn by time. You wonder how many people once sat here. Perhaps someone waited for a letter. Perhaps someone watched a train disappear. Perhaps someone came here every evening. There is no way to know. You sit for a moment. The roof protects you from the rain, but the cool air remains around you. You breathe slowly. A soft wind moves across the platform. It carries the smell of wet grass. Far beyond the station, a dog barks once. Then everything becomes quiet again. You look toward the signal lamp. It still glows red. The color reflects in a puddle. The reflection trembles whenever a raindrop lands. You watch it. There is something calming about the tiny movement. Nothing dramatic happens. Nothing needs to. The world simply continues. Rain falls. Water moves. The signal glows. And you sit beneath the old roof. You begin to understand why this place feels peaceful. It does not demand your attention. It does not ask you to be productive. It simply allows you to exist. You stay there a little longer. Then, you return inside. Back in the waiting room, you remove your coat again. The fire welcomes you with gentle warmth. You sit beside it. Your eyes move toward the hallway. You remember the old wooden door, the one at the end. You wonder about it again. Then you notice something beside your chair. was warm. Rain covered the roof. It sounds almost exactly like tonight. You pause. The similarity feels unusual, but not frightening. Some nights simply resemble one another. You continue reading. A sentence near the bottom catches your attention. The station is quietest after midnight. Below it, another sentence. That is when people remember what matters. You read those words twice. Then you stop. The room suddenly feels very still. You look toward the window. Rain moves across the dark glass. You think about your own life, the things you usually keep busy with, the conversations you postpone, the places you intend to visit, the people you mean to call, the dreams you keep waiting for the right time to pursue. Perhaps quiet nights have a way of bringing those thoughts closer, not to disturb you, only to remind you. You close the notebook for a moment. Your hand rests on its cover. The station outside remains silent. You breathe slowly. There is no need to solve anything tonight. You do not need answers. You only need to notice. That is enough. You open the notebook again. A few more pages remain, and something about the final entries makes you want to continue. You turn to another page. The date is much later. The handwriting looks weaker. The letters are less even. It appears to have been written near the end of someone's time here. The entry begins with the rain. Again, rain. The writer describes a storm that lasted most of the night. The station was nearly empty. Only one lamp remained lit. A traveler waited for the final train, but the train never came. You stop reading. You glance toward the dark window. The story feels strangely familiar. Then you continue. The writer says the traveler eventually chose to stay until morning, but there is something unusual. The writer did not seem worried. Instead, they described the night as peaceful. The traveler sat near the fire, drank tea, listened to the rain, and watched the empty tracks. You smile. It sounds almost like you. You turn the page. There is only one final paragraph. The handwriting is very faint. You read it slowly. It says that every station has nights when nobody arrives, and nights when someone arrives, exactly when they need to. You sit quietly after reading it. The words stay with you. You think about how often life seems to move without asking. One day becomes another. One journey becomes another. People come and go. Plans change. Sometimes you simply need somewhere to stop. A place where nobody expects anything. You look around the small room. Perhaps that is why this station exists. Not only for trains, not only for travelers, but for quiet moments. Moments when you need to breathe. You close the notebook. The cover feels warm beneath your hand. You place it carefully on the desk. Then you notice something beneath it. A small envelope, cream-colored. Your name is not written on it. There is only one word. Tonight. You stare at it. The rain continues outside. You reach for the envelope. The envelope is old. Its edges have softened with time. You turn it over. There is no seal, no name, nothing to explain why it remains here. You open it carefully. Inside, there is a single sheet of paper. The handwriting matches the notebook. You read the short message. It does not contain instructions. It does not ask anything from you. It simply describes the station, the quiet room, the warm fire, the sound of rain. Then, one final thought. Some places are meant to be remembered. You read the sentence again. It feels simple, but somehow, it reaches deeper than expected. You think about places from your own past. A childhood room, a road you once walked, a house that no longer feels the same, a quiet evening beside someone you love. Memories can be strange. They do not always arrive when invited. Sometimes they appear in a smell, a sound, a certain kind of rain. Tonight, the old station has opened that door. You sit down on a wooden stool. The letter rests in your hands. You do not feel sad. Instead, you feel calm. There is comfort in remembering. Not everything needs to return. Some memories can simply remain gentle. You fold the letter. You place it back inside the envelope. Then you return it to the desk. The room feels different now. Not because anything changed, because you understand it better. This station has held many quiet moments. And tonight, it is holding yours. You look toward the doorway. The waiting room beyond it glows softly. You hear the fire. You hear the rain. You hear the old clock. The sounds feel familiar now, like a rhythm you have known for years. You stand slowly. Before leaving, you look back once. The small lamp shines over the desk. The notebook rests beneath it. The envelope waits beside the pages. You close the door gently. You return to the waiting room. The fire has settled lower. The flames are smaller now. Their light moves quietly across the walls. You walk toward the window. There is a chair nearby. You sit. The glass is cool beside you. Rain continues to slide downward. Outside, the platform lights glow through the mist. You watch them without thinking. The station no longer feels unfamiliar. You know where the hallway leads. You know about the hidden room. You know the stories resting inside it. but you do not feel the need to discover everything tonight. Some things can remain unknown. That is part of their beauty. You place one hand against the window. The glass is cold. Your palm slowly warms it. Beyond your reflection, the darkness stretches across the countryside. You imagine distant fields, sleeping trees, empty roads, small houses with curtains drawn. Perhaps someone is awake somewhere. Perhaps someone is listening to rain, just as you are. The thought makes the world feel larger. Yet somehow, you feel peaceful inside it. You lean back in the chair. Your breathing slows again. The tiredness returns. This time, it feels deeper, heavier, more welcome. The fire gives a quiet crackle. You close your eyes. The station sounds surround you. Rain above, clock behind, fire nearby, wind beyond the walls. Everything has found its place. You take a slow breath, then let it go. There is nothing you need to remember, nothing you need to decide. The old station will remain here. The tracks will remain outside. The rain will continue falling. And for this moment, you are exactly where you need to be. Your eyes remain closed. The chair supports your body. The warmth surrounds you. The sounds become softer. The night grows deeper. Somewhere far beyond the station, a distant train moves through the darkness. You hear its low, fading whistle. Then silence returns. You smile faintly. The journey continues somewhere else. But you are staying here, safe inside the old station, listening to the rain, letting the quiet night carry you gently onward. The rain has become softer now. You remain beside the window. The old station feels almost asleep. Only a few lights remain on. The fire has settled into a quiet glow. You listen carefully for several moments. There is nothing unusual. Then you hear it again. A distant vibration, very low, almost beneath the sound of rain. You sit upright. The vibration grows slightly stronger. Then comes a faint whistle. It is far away, but unmistakable. A train. You walk toward the platform. Your coat hangs beside the door. You put it on slowly. Then you step outside. The air feels cool. Rain touches the uncovered parts of your face. You walk beneath the wooden canopy. The platform lamps glow through the mist. You look down the tracks. At first, there is nothing. Then a small light appears, far beyond the station. It moves slowly through the darkness. You watch without moving. The light grows brighter. The sound becomes clearer. A low mechanical hum, steel moving over steel. The old railway seems to awaken. You feel the vibration beneath your shoes. It is gentle, almost soothing. The train approaches without hurry. Its windows glow warmly. You can see soft shapes inside. Perhaps sleeping passengers. Perhaps someone reading quietly. Perhaps someone watching the rain. The train slows, then stops. For a few moments, everything is still. The doors remain closed. No one steps onto the platform. You simply stand there, watching the warm windows. Then, one door opens. A soft chime sounds. You look inside. The carriage is empty. Only warm lights fill the space. You do not feel afraid. Instead, you feel strangely welcome. The open doorway waits quietly. You take one step closer, then another. You do not board. You simply stand beneath the doorway. Warm air reaches your face. It smells faintly of wood and clean fabric. The train feels like another quiet world, a world moving somewhere beyond tonight. After a moment, the doors close. The train begins to move, slowly at first, then faster. Its windows pass before you. One, then another, then another. The final light disappears into the darkness. The sound fades with it. You remain beneath the canopy, listening to the rain again. The station becomes quiet, but somehow the night feels fuller now. You walk farther along the platform. At the far end, you notice a small building. You had not seen it before. A faded sign hangs above the door. Waiting Room B. The paint has almost disappeared. You try the handle. It opens easily. Inside, the room is much smaller than the main waiting hall. There are only 2 benches, a narrow window, and an old wall lamp. The air smells of dry wood. You step inside. Rain becomes distant again. The little room feels peaceful. You run your fingers along the back of one bench. Someone has carved tiny initials into the wood. Some are almost impossible to read. Others remain clear. You wonder who made them. Perhaps teenagers waiting for a train. Perhaps travelers passing through decades ago. Perhaps someone sitting alone on a rainy evening. You sit down. The bench is surprisingly comfortable. You look through the window. The tracks stretch away into darkness. The last train is already gone. Only a faint red light remains far down the line. You watch it until it disappears. Then you notice something on the wall. A small framed timetable. Most of the paper is faded, but one line remains readable. Last departure, 12:15 a.m. You glance at the clock on the wall. It is almost that time. You smile. So the train was the final one. There will be no more tonight. The station is yours now, completely quiet. You lean against the wooden wall. There is something comforting about knowing that nothing else is expected. No more arrivals, no more departures, no more decisions. The night has reached its quietest hour. You close your eyes. The sound of rain returns. Softly, steadily, you breathe in the cool air, then breathe out. The little waiting room seems to hold you gently. You think about how strange journeys can be. Sometimes you plan every step. Sometimes the road decides for you. Sometimes the best part of the journey is the moment wood. The flames rise gently. Warm light fills the room again. You pull the blanket over your legs. Then you lean back. Your body feels Rain falls beyond the edge. The garden is dark and peaceful. You can barely see the rose bushes. A few leaves shine beneath the lamps. You walk toward warm in the old waiting room. The rain still falls outside, but it is very soft now, almost weightless. The platform lamps glow through the mist. Their reflections rest upon